Hi, I'm Katarina with Speak to Learn English. Today I want to talk a bit about small talk. So, small talk refers to the short conversations we have with people that we meet when we're traveling or in a store, or sometimes with coworkers or acquaintances. Um, so, I want to speak specifically about when you meet someone new. You may often get asked about, how you've been learning English, or another really common question for people who are not English learners is, what do you do for a living? It's not a bad question, but there's not really so much that a person can respond with, right? That kind of brings just a very direct answer, like, I'm a customer service agent, or I'm an engineer, or I'm a doctor. And then you're left with, okay, where do I go from here? What's my follow up question? A question that you can start off with instead that will encourage the person to speak more, that will then naturally give you more things that you can follow up on, is, how did you come to have the job that you have now? So that's asking for more of their story. And you can even use that as a follow up question. If the first question that comes to your mind is, what do you do for a living? And they say, I'm a doctor. You can ask, oh, how did you come to be a doctor? And kind of ask for their story, like what made you, and another follow up question might be, what made you decide to pursue that career? Um, these are good questions if you know you'll have several minutes with that person. And since the idea behind the channel is for you to also practice speaking, I'd like you to take a moment and pause the video and answer some of those questions. So I'll repeat them for you. We'll start with the one that we kind of default to, or that we easily remember, and that a lot of people use, which is, what do you do for a living? And then my recommended follow up or even initial question uh, is, how did you come to have that job or that career, depending? So, is there a difference between job and career? Yes and no. A career indicates, both things are what someone is doing to work, but a career indicates that it's more long term, right? So, um, a cashier at a fast food restaurant probably doesn't consider that their career, whereas a software engineer probably does consider that their career, right? A cashier at a fast food restaurant probably has other plans, right? Other things that they're working toward, or something else that they would rather do with their life. Whereas a software engineer may expect to be a software engineer for years and then retire from that and go on to live their retirement. So go ahead and pause and answer that question. How did you come to have that career? And now that you're back from answering that question, the next question is, what made you decide to pursue that as a career? Or what made you decide to apply for that job if right now you consider yourself to be in a job and not your ideal career, which you want to work toward? So now that you've taken some time to answer those questions, please feel free to share some of your answers in the comments below. I didn't go through my answers, but if you're curious to know about them, you can stick around and I will share those with you. Before I get into that, if you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you found this useful, please share it with someone else who could also benefit. So my answers to those questions, one of the things that I'm doing right now is teaching English, as you can see. How did I come to have that as a part of my career? I have always enjoyed speaking and reading, and I grew up speaking English. I was born and raised in the United States. And then in my early 20s, I had plans to move abroad and heard about a class for a certification in teaching English to speakers of other languages. and decided to go ahead and take that class. It was an in-person class and talked about different methods, and it was really interesting. And I got that certificate. And then after the initial TESOL certificate, a more in-depth course was offered that actually resulted in a bachelor's degree. So then I got my bachelor's degree in TESOL. And then from there, it actually took me a little bit of time to get the bachelor's degree, but I started working teaching online even before I finished the bachelor's degree because I already had the certification and the methods and ideas that would help me get started. And so that brought me to teaching online, which has been something that I've been able to do from the comfort of my home, and that gives the flexibility of wherever I end up living. So that's my answer. If you have any follow-up questions for me or anything you're curious about with my story, also please feel free to share those in the comments below. Thanks for sticking around to the end, and I look forward to sharing more with you very soon. Bye.